What happens when a desperate American prisoner tries to escape, only to make one mistake that changes everything? This escape attempt will leave you speechless. Inside a cold gray prison sat Michael, a man in his early 30s. He wasn't a hardened criminal. His crime had been a bad decision, a robbery gone wrong. But behind bars, Michael felt trapped, hopeless, and desperate to reclaim his freedom. For months, he studied the routines of the guards, the way the night shift changed over, the blind spots in the cameras, even the squeaky door that opened slower than the rest. He wrote it all down, memorizing every detail like a blueprint. To his fellow inmates, Michael seemed quiet, withdrawn. But in his mind, he was building his great escape. Finally, one stormy night, his plan came into motion. The heavy rain masked the sound of his footsteps. The guards, huddled inside, barely looked at the cameras. Michael's heart pounded as he slipped through a maintenance hallway, the one he'd mapped out in his head 100 times. He reached the outer wall. The cold wind hit his face as he gripped the rope he'd secretly crafted from torn bedsheets. With shaky hands, he tied it to a drain pipe and began climbing. Freedom was just a few feet away. But here's where the jaw-dropping mistake happened. Michael, so focused on the guards and cameras, hadn't thought about one small detail: the shoes on his feet. Prison-issued boots with rubber soles. As he climbed, his foot slipped against the wet metal pipe. The rope burned his hands as he tried to catch himself, but it snapped loose, and he crashed down into the mud with a loud thud. The noise echoed through the yard. Dogs barked, alarms blared, and floodlights lit up the night. Michael scrambled, trying to run, but the mud slowed him down. Within seconds, guards surrounded him, shouting orders, rifles pointed directly at his chest. His dream of freedom vanished in an instant. Back inside, drenched and defeated, Michael sat in solitary confinement. He stared at the cracked ceiling, realizing his mistake wasn't just slipping, it was underestimating the cost of desperation. And the cruel twist? His release date was only 6 months away. If he had waited, he would have walked out a free man. Instead, his escape attempt added years to his sentence. So what happens when an American prisoner risks everything to escape? One wrong step, and instead of freedom, he finds himself further from it than ever before. If this story shocked you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because sometimes the most unbelievable stories are the ones that really happened.